ladies and gentlemen.
Giggity. All right.
Seems quiet. Too quiet.
I'm Batman. Gotham is never safe without me. What time is it? It's 7 o'clock. Okay, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You can attach towers? Shut up. Impromptu performance this evening, which I must say was indeed a welcome distraction. Thank you, Mr. Holmes. You're very kind. This is going to be funny. It's always fun. It's always a good time. Woo. Good evening, one and all. Welcome to another Tuesday evening of book reading. And now, marbles as well. It is wonderful to see you. Dry congratulations on claiming that first place spot. And Cody, as promised by Purple's Redemption, you now have a VIP. You have a VIP. You are now VIP Cody Englehart. Wonderful to see you. I am wearing a pink shirt, or you dreamed almost first. That's right. Sorry. Cody got first. Got him mixed up. Congratulations to you both, though. It's well deserved. That was my golf clap. So yes, I'm wearing a pink shirt. This is a new shirt. It's a cotton polyester blend. It's light and airy, but yet sophisticated and comfortable at the same time. When do I get my prize? It is in the mail. Yep, it's in the mail. And Super's here. Oh my god. Super duper. Hello, sir. You're quite welcome, Joy. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. I am very excited for our book this evening because we left on one hell of a cliffhanger. The stalker creepy guy was like, she has 5 days left to live. Chapter end, close stream. And we were all like, what? So, yeah. Crikey. And the other thing I'm excited for, there is a puzzle. Yes, let me calm your horses. Super's like, get me in there. This is your puzzle. This is your moon puzzle for tonight. There's a man on the moon. On Thursday, when we do American Truck Sim, I am very excited to play it, but not just play it. We are going to capital PLAY it. And why, you ask? Well, I'll give you a hint. We're not just going to play it. We're going to VR play it. Oh, yeah. And I'm going to be able to stream the whole thing. I figured it out so that I can have chats up on the screen as well. Oh, it's going to be awesome. And if for some reason that doesn't work, that doesn't matter because I've still got 3 monitors where I can spread the truck out on all 3. So tonight's going to be amazing. Thursday is going to be a ton of fun. I can't wait. I'm excited. And Mel's here. Hi, Mel. And as you can see, kind of in the middle over here, I forgot to post this last time. For the month of March, every time a sub happens, whether it's yourself or it's a gift, whatever I spin will count as 2. So if I get curls, instead of having 5, I will add 10. Because I hate myself. Are you going to sign my Bookfather t-shirt? Do you have a Bookfather t-shirt? Asking for a friend? Because if you do, I would love to. Absolutely. Get out the old marker. The Bookfather. Something like that. Oh, yesterday evening I started recording the live sessions for the Magic Wave audio drama, Contract Lover. Or Lovers, sorry. And that was fantastic. It's my first time ever doing a live recording session. I usually just get the script and they're like, okay, go record and then send it to us, right? But this one is where I'm live with the director of the audio drama. And so as we get to lines, she's like, all right, do it in this way, or just, go with your gut. And then we'll, like, some lines we redid, some we talked about and tweaked, and others I did it. And she's like, yep, awesome. Keeping that, move on. And so we did that for about an hour yesterday, and that was fantastic. We've still got plenty more to do, so we have another session lined up for tomorrow evening. Whew. Good times, good times. I play the voice of Bob. Uh-oh. Stop Mama's Mama, hello. Welcome. Did you get your nails done? They all pretty, unlike mine. I play the voice of a guy named Bob. Bob is a brain surgeon. That's right. And he's trying to cozy up with this gal, Nybecca. And, well, without ruining anything, because it's a great story, Bob isn't a good guy. Bob is not a good guy. And I'm playing that guy. I was listening and realized I hadn't said I was here. Wow. That is unlike you. Get your head out of the cloud, ma'am. Get your head out of the cloud. Whew. Anyway. So yes, very excited. So lots of cool stuff happening. We've got the book. We've got the VR American Truck Sim on Thursday. We've got more recording to do tomorrow. I'm wearing a new shirt, and it's pink. Yeah, I can't really tell which lighting is best, but it's pink. And I think I can pull pink off. I wasn't sure. But I took a chance. I have this same shirt also in navy blue and white. But tonight, pink. And no, we're getting them done tomorrow. We found out the nail places. Oh, that's right, they're closed on Tuesday. And to quote Stunt Mama, you can't tell me what to do. It's fair. I can't really tell anybody what to do. Looking sharp, thank you. All right, I hope you've had a fantastic start to your week. I'm going to quit jabbering on. We're going to jump over to our read scene. We've got the puzzle going, and we've got marbles. I've learned about the marbles game that there is no auto run. I have to do it. There's no option to do that. I checked with Heidi, who's a pro at this game. She does it all the time. But I did realize that if I only selected races that do laps, I can control the laps. So we're going to do 16, just like normal. I say normal like we've been doing it forever. We're going to do 16 races, but I'm going to set the laps higher than what you maybe would typically. And then that way, I'm not always clicking over, and doing that whole thing. Yes. So we've got our 16 randomly selected lap races. And because I won last time, shame on me. Shame. Just sucks to be you guys. Shame on me. I'm not going to enter the races this time. It is all you. And that way you can't point your finger at me. You sore losers. Did you figure out how to get to the point to customize? I did. I was able to change my ball so it was like purple, the color purple. But you have to have like in-game coins or something to be able to do it. So I really don't know. But anyway, let's start it out and let's see how it goes. I'm thinking... Wait a minute. This isn't a lap race. What the frick is this? Hold on. I told it to do laps only. Grand Prix. Oh, I didn't uncheck that. That's why. I'm an idiot. It's fine. Autofill. Play. Let's try this again. With less idiocy. There we go. That's better. That's the view. I can change the laps down here, and I'm thinking either 15 or 20. What do you guys think? 20 laps per race, 16 races. So that's 320 laps in total if I do the math right. Sounds about right. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we're going to do 20. All right. Super's in. I am going to start the timer. It's still going to be a 90-second countdown for getting into the race. So if you don't want to miss out, get your balls in there. Get them out. Put them in. Oh, that's good tea. Only one ball per race, please. Thank you. 90 seconds on the clock. Good luck. And in the meantime, we start on chapter 29. Please, sit back, relax, play with a marble, play with a jigsaw puzzle, and I will read to you. It is my pleasure to be your narrator this evening. It means a lot to me that you are here. Thank you. Let's get started. Chapter 29 starts on page 236 of the printed copy. Do both if you have ADHD and need more stimuli. Yes, that works too. There's only 2 of you in right now. Stump Mama's mama, you better get in there. ! Play. Otherwise, you won't win. You gotta play to win. You know, it's just one of those things. Here we go. It started small, just a tiny spark in a great, vast void of ebony darkness. Then it grew, casting a glow. At first, it seemed inviting, enticing even. It looked like a sparkler on the 4th of July. But it grew quickly. And I forgot to hit a button. I had one job to do. 2 jobs, start the race and hit a button. And I messed up one of them. That's only a 50% success rate. The number above your head, by the way, just in case you weren't aware, that is the lap number that you are on, not the position you are in. Thank you. But it grew quickly, getting larger. It started to snake out in every direction as if it had a life of its own. It snapped, popped, and hissed. The small sizzle grew and grew until it was a roar. The sound engulfed her. Then the screams started. She could hear them. Her mother, her sister. She could hear her father calling out. She could see shadows reaching, clawing, arms outstretched, hands. She saw metal twist and warp, flashing in the bright light of the fire. Then the smells came. Smoke, gas, ash, and hot metal burning. The pure white-hot heat poured over her. She writhed and wriggled. The fire touched her skin and scorched her hair. She cried out in terror as the flames engulfed her. Bree sat upright in bed, drenched in sweat and panting. She fumbled in the darkness, trying to escape the tangle of sheets. Zyla padded over and yipped at the edge of the bed, paws outstretched and tail wagging. "Oh, Zyla," Bree said, scooping up the puppy and snuggling her close. "I'm so glad I have you." The puppy lavished Bree with kisses. All over her hands and arms as Bree sat in the darkness and wept. Minutes passed, and the crying jag ended. Bree sniffed and wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. The sun peeked over the horizon, and spongy light... What? Oh. The sun peeked over the horizon, and spongy light filtered through the drawn curtains. Bree went over to the window and drew them back, unlatching the French doors. She stepped out into the early morning air. She stood momentarily and enjoyed the fresh air, but then the thought flooded her. What if he was watching? What if he was somewhere out there right now, searching her with his lens? Bree shuddered and quickly turned on her heel. Calling Zyla to follow, she disappeared inside, locking the door behind her. Cody, your ball was on fire. Just letting you know. Downstairs, she took the dog out and then made coffee. Excuse me. She fed Zyla and was about to sit and drink her coffee when the large envelope on the windowsill caught her eye. She'd completely forgotten about it. She picked it up and read the return address again. Hefner Attorney at Law, Kansas City, Kansas. It happens? Well, you know. I mean, there's cream for that, I think, but... This wasn't her lawyer. She pulled out a butter knife and slit the end of the manila envelope. Bree pulled out the paperwork and gasped as she realized what she held. With a shaky hand, she picked up the phone and dialed Savard's number. He answered on the first ring. I think I just found out what I took, she said in a wary voice. Savard didn't hesitate. I'll be right over. It was more like I'll be right over, like a determined Savard. After only 20 minutes, Savard arrived, followed closely by Riker because Bree had called him after Savard. Wasn't Riker upstairs? Or unless we've changed today. I don't remember now. So, this is about money? A will? Riker questioned. Looks that way, Savard answered. Can you catch me up here? Remind me, who is Garth Snader? Alan! Beware. Bill the Duck is arriving to your location. There's nothing you can do. He may have homies. Welcome in, Raiders. Alan, it is wonderful to see you, sir. How are you? Sir Grunge, Beer Not Babies, welcome, welcome. Welcome indeed. How are you? What were you reading today? I'm assuming you were reading. Helps Bill attack Bookfather with hugs. Steady now.
I will do this to Bill.
Whoa. Wow. Just backhanded Bill. The nerve, man. I'm swell. I was continuing Red Dragon by Thomas Harris. Are we enjoying the book? I can't say I'm familiar with it, but then again, there's like 1 quintillion books out there in the world, so. Truly iconic clip, he has never forgiven me. Well, you know, I'm sure he deserved it, because, God, those ducks, they can be annoying sometimes. Welcome in. We are reading, we have a puzzle, we have marbles. It's a good time. We're in a very exciting part of the book right now. Things are starting to connect and make sense. If you aren't familiar with Red Dragon, you are likely familiar with its sequel, book, and/or its film, Silence of the Lambs. Ah, okay. And yes, we have a pink shirt. Thank you, Dry. Awesome. Well, feel free to stick around if you like. If you have to raid and run, I totally understand. I'm going to keep reading. Feel free to get in on the next race if you like. There's only 3 laps to go of this one, it looks like. Super is dominantly in the lead. Yeah. Thank you again for the raid. I appreciate you. Now, where were we? Ah, yes. He's the man that was driving the tractor trailer that killed my family, Bree answered softly. Was he convicted? Red Dragon is the first book to feature the character of Hannibal Lecter. Oh, I bet it is a good book then. Yes. He was convicted of vehicular manslaughter. Which... Wait. Different person. I thought that was Bree talking. Which, Bree, I know you are aware he paid the maximum fine. Lost his driver's license, but didn't serve any jail time. Why didn't he serve time? Riker demanded. He didn't know the Thompsons, but he knew Bree. and that was enough for him to be on the defensive. He killed 3 people. It was an accident, Bree whispered. He had a seizure, causing him to black out for a few seconds, which caused him to lose control. Savard finished for her. They ruled it an accident due to a medical condition. Savard looked from Riker to Bree. I'm not sure if you heard, but I guess now with this, you probably figured out Mr. Snader passed away about 3 months ago. He actually was a very nice man, Bree said quietly. I wanted so much to dislike him, hate him even, but I couldn't. He was genuinely as devastated as I was. He begged for my forgiveness and offered to help me however he could. I told him there wasn't anything he could do.
I'm lurking now.
Thank you for the lurk and a book bonk. Thank you for that. Bree lifted the papers. This I never expected. I can't believe he did this. The lawyer needs to be contacted. Do you think you could make the call now, Bree? See if we can get some answers? Savard asked. Bree swallowed hard. Yes, I guess I can. Riker handed Bree her cell. Make the call. And that is a quick chapter 29. Good bonk, thank you. I hope you're well. I shall lurk. Good to see you. I am, and I appreciate it. Becoming an icon with the Lambs film in 1991 as played by Anthony Hopkins. But Red Dragon did have an adaptation in 1986 in the movie Manhunter, and later having another adaptation in 2002 with the appropriate title of Red Dragon. I had no idea it was like that invested in, like, it's crazy how that kind of stuff happens. Cody, did your ball even keep going? I'm just curious. Next map. Feel free to jump in, ! Play. 90 seconds on the clock. Listen, sometimes balls just stop. Well, I got nothing. Sucks to be you. That's all I got. Chapter 30, page 239. ! Puzzle for the puzzle. ! Play to get in the race. ! Moon to see more about our author and this book and other books she's written as well. My ball is dirty. I didn't clean it after last time. Okay. Well, good luck in the race then. Chapter 30. It didn't take long for the day to turn warm and sunny. After Savard and Riker left, Bree took Zyla for a long walk along the water's edge. The puppy ran and explored to her heart's delight. It took Bree's willpower to go in around lunchtime and head upstairs to the studio to work. She had a lot to do. Orders to fill, emails to check, and a blog to write. With 2 of the 3 things on her list done, she allowed herself a half hour to upload the photos she took of her own house, and the before and after shots. She pulled up the original photo she had taken the day she had bought the house, split the screen, and placed the current updated one beside it. She marveled at the difference. Gone was the weather-beaten, broken house that had withstood the elements. It was replaced by a freshly painted, good grief, pristine and elegant home. Yet its dreamy and romantic side still showed through in all its glory. She smiled at the next one Greg had taken of her next to the sold sign. She enlarged it and focused on her face. What had she been feeling at that moment? Nervous, proud, excited, and even sad? She could remember those feelings perfectly as they tumbled around and twisted her stomach in knots. Thrilled to have the house, nervous about sinking so much money into it, and sad because her family wasn't there with her, that they wouldn't see it, ever, and share in her joy. She had been scarred and in need of repair, just like the house. And somehow, in the slow day-by-day process of remodeling the house and building the studio, not only was the structure transformed, but so was she. She wasn't a fool. She wasn't completely healed. Bree feared she never would be, or she would never be. But she was healing, and this house, this place, and the friends she made were a good start. Bree scrolled through the rest of the pictures. She had the before and after of the widow's walk, her studio, and the patio. She wanted to make sure she got pictures of the kitchen, as tomorrow was demo day. She opened a new file, saved the photos, and labeled it. She would show them to Riker and Sam, let them choose so Colette could update their website. Before she closed out, Bree clicked on the photo she had taken of both men just for fun. Her heart skipped a beat as she enlarged it. They stood on her patio, shirts off, and posed, sledgehammers slung over their outside shoulders. The sun glistened off their tan bodies as they stood bare-chested, slightly sweaty, muscles flexed side by side, grinning. Even if you didn't know them, you could tell they were best friends, loving what they did. If Bolts and Beams used this particular picture as a cover on their website, they'd have every female between the ages of 16 and 60 hiring them. She tried not to think about Riker's arms around her, holding her on the beach. She sighed, letting her chin rest in the palm of her hand, and just admired him. Sounds like a picture of me. Oh, sorry, were you serious? My bad. I mean, yeah, man. Spitting image. Mirror. Love the head back chuckle. You're welcome. So funny. Her cell phone rang, and she jumped as if it caught her ogling Riker. Hey, champ, what are you doing? The blimp is blinding me. The blimp? Is there a blimp in the... Oh. Bree blushed at the sound of his voice. Working. And you? Same. You doing all right after what you found out this morning? Bree thought of the will and the sweet man who had bequeathed her his life savings, trying desperately to replace something, anything, of what she'd lost. I guess I can't help but wonder. She couldn't finish the sentence. There's a blimp-shaped shadow from our view. Yeah, I see it. It looks like there's more than one. It's interesting. I wonder if that's like the camera. or cameras. Who knows? Who knows? Wonder what? He waited, and when she didn't say anything, he prompted her. Tell me, Bree. No, not now. I'm not ready to talk about it. I'm still digesting something that Savard told me earlier today. Do you have plans for tonight? I'm emptying my kitchen cabinets in anticipation of tomorrow. Why? That won't take long. I've seen the inside of your cabinets. They're practically bare. Let's have dinner together. I'll pick you up around 6. Riker, you can't just expect me to drop everything when you say. I have work to do. I have to finish my blog, clear out the cabinets, walk, and feed Zyla. He cut her off. You have an hour and a half to finish your blog and take Zyla for a walk. If you don't clear the cabinets before I arrive, I'll come 30 minutes early and help you in the morning. It's going to be a beautiful night. I want to take you out on the water. I'll drop anchor, and we can eat on the boat. There's nothing that the wind and the waves can't cure. At least for a little while, anyway. Plus, what better company could you ask for? He waited a beat. Come on. What do you say? You know you want to. You can't say no to me. I most certainly could say no to you. You're not irresistible, you know. She wondered if he knew it was a lie. She couldn't say no, even if she wanted to. But she didn't want to. She wanted to go, more than anything. She tried to come across as aloof, but appreciative. That sounds wonderful. I could use a break. From work, from her thoughts. She could hear the smile in his voice and could tell he was pleased. I'll order Chinese. See you at 6. The next hour and a half flew by. She wrote her blog, walked Zyla, and changed her outfit at least a half dozen times, settling for her favorite pair of white capris and a blue blouse with a softly scooped neckline. Since she was going to be on the water, she swept her hair up into a messy bun, determined to pin it down and keep it out of her face. She put small silver hoops in her ears and silver around her neck. Bree heard the motorcycle coming and knew when it turned down her lane. She checked her appearance in the mirror. Casual, simple, not overly done, she thought. She didn't want to come off like she was trying too hard, since she wasn't sure if it was an actual date. Nonetheless, she all but skipped down the stairs in anticipation. When she opened the door, he was instantly at a loss for words. Damn if she didn't look good enough to eat. He cleared his throat and ran a hand across his mouth, afraid he was drooling. Keep it light, you idiot. You clean up pretty good, champ. She smiled, melting his heart. Thanks. You ready? Yes, but come in for a minute. I want to let Zyla out one last time. I hate for her to have an accident when she's been doing so well. She held the front door open for him, and he caught the soft, alluring scent that whispered over her skin as he passed. It was all he could do to keep walking and not turn around and pin her to the wall. He needed to keep his distance until the blood returned to his head. I'll take the dog out to do her business, he said gruffly, cursing inwardly. You grab your shoes and a jacket. It gets cold out on the boat after sunset. He scooped up Zyla, carried her out, and deposited her on the spot. It only took a couple of minutes, and Zyla came bounding back. She scampered at his feet, trying desperately to lavish his boots with puppy kisses. His demeanor softened. You were right for such a little thing. You're all right for such a little thing, he said, reaching down to pet the puppy. She dashed in front of him and darted back into the house. Bree was waiting with fresh water, a treat, and a chew toy. When she had Xyla situated in her crate, she stood, ready to go. Takeout should be arriving just as we get back, Riker said, waiting for Bree as she flipped on the outside lights and locked the house. You good? He asked as he watched her tuck the keys in her purse and slip it over her shoulder. She nodded. He swung his leg over his bike and hit the throttle. Revving the engine, he gave her a nod and she climbed on. The second she wrapped her arms around his waist, he hit the gas, and they tore off down the driveway, spewing gravel. He slowed and took the corner. He drove through the back roads and onto a few city streets, working his way across to his house. They cruised into his neighborhood and pulled up simultaneously as the carryout. That never happens in real life. But then again, I'm usually already home when I order delivery, so. Riker stopped, pulled out his wallet, and handed Bree a 20. Can you pay while I put my bike away? I'll meet you out back. Bree accepted the 20 and went to get the takeout. Riker emerged from the detached garage when Bree came around the house. They grabbed a few more things and then loaded up the boat. He stowed the food in a cooler, untied the boat, and started the engine. Take a seat anywhere you like. There's not much of a breeze and the sky's clear, so I thought we could go out on the Atlantic if you're all right with that. Sounds good to me. Bree took the seat next to him and settled in for the ride. I miss being out on the water. I had access to a pontoon boat when we lived in Wisconsin. It wasn't mine, but I could use it pretty much any time. I took it out a couple of times. It was fun. Anyway. Riker glided away from the dock and out to where the inlet opened into the bay. Bree waved at a couple of little boys perched on the end of the dock fishing. They eagerly waved back. They passed a family on a pontoon coming back in, and once safely past them, Riker opened up the boat. The front lifted as he increased the speed, then leveled out as the 25-footer cut neatly through the water. They made their way across the bay, passing several other anchored boats. The waves from shadow gently swayed them as they sped by. Riding in silence, they enjoyed the warm air, the waves, and the scenery. Fluffy clouds drifted overhead, pure white against the soft blue. Riker slowed as he came to the Ocean Gateway Bridge. They waited with other boats as it lifted. The line of cars increased, and then they passed under. He puttered along the inlet until he could see nothing but blue and the horizon. Through the no-wake zone, he opened it up again and swung a wide arc, heading south down along Assateague Island. Or is it Assateague? I always say, Assateague. I always mess that up. Bree watched Riker as he stood at the helm, carefree, comfortable, tall and confident. He had an edge of cockiness about him as he half grinned and swung wide again. She could tell that this is what he lived for. Moments like these spent in pure pleasure. After about 10 minutes of speed, Riker cut the engine and let the boat glide and come to a slow drift. He turned to Bree, beaming. Hungry? Starving. Then let's eat. He dropped anchor as they floated about 100 yards off the coast, then proceeded to grab a cooler filled with the takeout. "There are drinks under the bench," he indicated with a point of his finger. Bree stood and lifted the seat, snagged a couple of sodas, and replaced the cushion. "Let's eat in the bow." Bree walked up and sat next to Riker. He flipped the lid of the cooler and unearthed the food. "I hope you're not too picky. I got a couple of different kinds." "I'm not. There are plates, utensils, and napkins in the bag." They sat, knees touching as the boat slowly rocked, and they dished up. "Not a chopstick kind of guy?" Bree asked in between bites. "No, I don't have the patience to figure them out. You either?" "No, my fingers aren't that coordinated. But my mom could," Bree stated, and then had a tiny pang in her heart. She tried to teach us without any success. Too impatient, I guess. We would always break out the silverware after only a few minutes. Bree wagged her fork at Riker. "You never told me. Do you have a big family?" "I'm the youngest of 3 boys. My oldest brother, Rick, is married and has a baby on the way. Ron's engaged. Both my parents still work. Mom's a nurse and Dad has his own accounting firm. Everyone lives in the area. Always have and always will." He scooped a second helping of sticky rice onto his plate. "It's beautiful here. I can see why." They ate silently for a couple of minutes, enjoying the food as the boat slowly rocked. "So, how about you?" he asked, stabbing a piece of General Tso's chicken. "Born and raised in Kansas?" She nodded and took a sip of her soda. "Yes, all my family is there. My grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins. The Thompsons and Ellisons have lived there for generations. I'm the first to move this far away." She sat back, full. "Did you get enough?" "Yes, thank you." He folded one white container shut. She leaned forward to help him. His fingers brushed hers accidentally while tucking the containers back into the cooler. He had to try hard to concentrate on what he was doing, not how soft her hands were. Super winning again. Maybe I should join in the races. Seems like you're, maybe cheating a little. I don't know. Seems pretty rigged. Seems pretty rigged. Let's see how you handle the brick. Stay out? Oh no, I'm jumping in this one. 90 seconds on the clock. Good luck. He pulled out a trash bag from a side pocket, and they stuck their plates in. "Were you planning on leaving, moving away, before the accident?" he asked, deciding this was a delicate subject. "Cat." "Hello, Cat. How are you? It's wonderful to see you." But he wanted to know. Correction. He needed to know if this was a short-term, knee-jerk reaction for her, or if she planned on making this move permanent. God, I hope she's planning on making it permanent, considering how much money she spent. She bought the house, and now she's renovating the hell out of it. Do you know how much kitchens are to remodel? Sheesh. "Hello there, I am well. Hope everyone else is as well." Every time I take a sip of this delicious hot tea with sugar and milk, I feel all warm inside. Maybe because it's a hot liquid. Ooh, dry, you got in there just in time. Good job. She hesitated, then sat back, slipping off her sandals and curling up protectively on the long bench. She smoothed the tiny pieces of her hair that had escaped. I always wanted to travel, to explore, see new places and have new experiences. But as far as actually moving away from Kansas, I don't know. But now that you're here, seems like you're making it a permanent thing. Or is this just a project for you? The house. Something to do to keep your mind off the loss you've experienced? Tea sounds really nice tonight. Yes, I always drink the same thing. Black tea, English breakfast, basically. A little bit of milk, a little bit of sugar. And I forgot to hit the button again. Jeepers. I wish it would just do that automatically. Good luck, racers. Tea is nice, but I think there's a law about tea and pink shirts. Choose your next words carefully. They could be your last. Just kidding. Or am I? As I was reading, she hesitated. I came here out of desperation, out of a need to escape, change the scenery, change my outlook. I needed some place to go, to be, that every time I turned around, I didn't have something or someone reminding me of what I had lost. He shifted over and sat closer to her. The boat rocked in the movement. And now? She shrugged and gave him a whisper of a smile. It was only supposed to be a 2-week vacation. Something my mother had planned for their anniversary. It was something we had dreamed about for months. My sister and I had always wanted to see the ocean. Lie on the beach in bikinis, ride the waves on boogie boards, or parasail over the water. He reached for her long legs. She let him uncurl them, placing them over his lap. He toyed with the delicate chain around her right ankle. Is that why you wear this? He fingered the charm. She smiled. Yes. My mother gave my sister and me both matching wave charms for Christmas when they told us about the trip. Once we got them, neither of us ever took them off. Gracie was buried with hers. He saw the shimmer of tears. Hey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. She reached over and touched his arm. It's okay. Even though it makes me sad, it still feels good to talk about them. Every day it gets a little better. He placed his hand there on her bare knee, on her bare skin, her bare knee. Wow. He placed his hand there on her bare skin and left it. Let's go back and talk about you on the beach in a bikini. I'm imagining a little white skimpy thing showing off every curve, every inch of tan skin. His blue eyes shot hot, intense, dangerous darts through her heart. You don't happen to have it under there, do you? He said, reaching for her. She swatted him and laughed. Keep it clean, Mr. James. I can see where your thoughts are going. Movement across the water caught his eye. "Look," he pointed, "on the beach." Bree turned her gaze in the direction he indicated. Half a dozen ponies in varying shades of brown walked along the edge of the beach. They all had their heads down, grazing on the short grass, except one. He was a little taller than the others, and his head was facing out toward the water. Toward them. "Oh, I wish I had my camera," Bree whispered. "I can't believe I didn't bring it." Riker chuckled. "Do you take that camera everywhere?" "Pretty much. That way I don't forget or miss moments like this. A photo like that would sell." "There are other ways to capture a moment, and know that you will remember it forever." "Like what?" Bree asked, tearing her eyes away from the simple beauty of the horses. Riker leaned over and slipped his hand under her chin, lifting it slightly. The other slowly slipped behind her back and pulled her into him. Her breath caught a second before his lips took hers. She tasted like cherry soda and felt soft, warm, and enticing. His hand moved from her chin to the back of her neck, holding her gently in place so she wouldn't pull away. He wasn't ready for the kiss to end. He wanted more. Needed more. His pulse spiked, and he felt hers do the same. "Riker," she whispered, breaking the connection. Her hand slid between them and lay on his chest, easing him back. She cleared her throat. "I'm not sure I could sell that. But if I could, it would definitely go for a high price." He grinned, causing his deeply chiseled features to crease. "I noticed you always caption your photos on your website." He ran a thumb over her lips. "How exactly would you caption that?" She smiled up at him and batted her eyelashes. "The Kiss by Riker James? Sufficiently adequate." Ouch. His hand clutched his heart. Sufficiently adequate? Really? I guess I'll have to do better. He tugged her forward and drew her onto his lap, capturing her mouth with his. His lips and his hands instantly took her hostage. Bree's senses were overwhelmed as her mind filled with only Riker. His strength is hard but gentle, passionate and tender. He was seductive and dangerously sexy. Inch by precious inch, she could feel her body surrendering to him, willing and wanting him. When she didn't think she could take much more but couldn't imagine it stopping, it did. He pulled back but hovered just a whisper away from her lips. Would you like to amend your caption? She nodded slightly, breathless, unable to speak. Well? He waited with dark desire in his eyes. What do you say now? She swallowed, desperately trying to catch her breath. Breathtaking and heart-stopping. He smirked. Much better. She shivered despite the heat of his body next to hers. Are you cold? A little. She fibbed, unwilling to tell him how much he had affected her. He reached around her into a compartment and pulled out a fluffy blanket. Here, he said, draping it over her legs. Thank you. Bree shifted, snuggling into him as the world slowly darkened around them. Look at that sunset. He followed her gaze and saw the horizon was set on fire. The pinks and purples bled into deep crimson and violet as the sun sank below the coastline. They watched in silence as the minutes crept by, and the sky shifted and changed before them, leaving them in a soft, spongy darkness as stars winked on all around. The moon was a sliver overhead, pale but dominant in the vast ribbon of navy blue. Oh, hold on. What is this? Okay, cool. It would be gone in only a few days, and a new moon would begin. Even though it wasn't much more than a thumbnail, it still seemed larger, somehow, out over the ocean. Got to clean that ball. That thing is going to get lapped again. Oh dear. Poor Dry. I see Supers winning again. That's good. Gazing at the slice of moon, Bree suddenly had a thought. I hate to bring this up, but what? Well, you're into the Black Shadow. Have you had a chance to give any thought to the whole "in the shadow of the black moon" statement? He shook his head. No, sorry. I couldn't find any reference in the Black Shadow besides what I already told you. Oh, okay. It's just a weird expression. I would have known what he was talking about if he said something about a blue moon. What's a blue moon? Riker asked, despite a beer. You haven't heard the expression? Well, I've heard it, but never really understood it. It's used to explain or to reference 2 full moons in a month. Doesn't happen very often, so that's why they say, once in a blue moon. My dad used that expression all the time. What would the opposite of that be? Bree straightened. I don't know. The opposite of a full moon would be a new moon, I guess. Let me guess, it's in 5 days. Riker pulled out his phone. Hey, Siri. I should have known that was going to make my phone do something. Is it possible to have 2 new moons in a month? Okay, I found this on the web for, is it possible to have 2 new moons in a month? Came the automated reply. Check it out. Bree peered at Riker's phone with him. She gasped as the answers were displayed. She read, 2 new moons in a month. The second new moon is known as a black moon. Riker, will there be a second new moon this month? They both stared up at the slice of moon in question that shone overhead. I think you're right. That's it. That's the answer. It has nothing really to do with the Black Shadow. He's using that to throw us off. It's more like the actual moon. Ah, shoot, we're on an ad break. Womp. Didn't even realize. We're almost done with the chapter, but I'm going to wait just in case someone's seeing an ad. This whole time we thought it had to do with a bloody movie. Clever, clever, clever. Look at that. Super winning the game again. Cat came in second place, though, followed by Moi and Poor Dry. Poor Dry. It's okay. It's okay. There are more it's only the third race. There's 13 more races. Okay? I should bet on Super. Do it. Do it. All right. See, there's my ball. It's all purpley and stuff. I'm going to hit the button this time so I don't forget. All right, the ad's over. We have like half a page until the chapter's over. So let's see how it ends. Riker raised his phone. Let's see if I can get my phone not to pay attention. Hey Siri, how many days until the new... Gosh darn it. She still listened. How many days until the new moon? Okay, I found this on the web for how many days until the new moon. Check it out. I could not do a Siri voice to save my life. 5 days? He glanced at Bree. That's this Saturday. A chill, I knew it was going to be 5 days. A chill raced through her. 5 days. Now, we don't know this for sure. We're just guessing. It could still be something to do with the Black Shadow. I don't disagree with you. Either way, I don't like it. Changing the subject, he said, how about we head back? The wind's picking up and I don't want it to get too rough. Bree glanced at his phone, checking the time. I should get home anyway. Zyla will probably need to go out again soon. If I take her out around midnight, she could make it until 7. He leaned over and kissed her gently on the mouth, lingering just a little and tasting tempting. He stood up and held out his hand, pulling her up. Let's go. Riker started the boat, letting it idle. He hauled in the anchor. When she was snuggled into the seat next to him, he swung the boat around and headed toward the city lights. And that ends chapter 30. 5 days. Oh boy. Melissa, I want you to say nothing, but I have a guess. I heard the Arnold voice, and you said 5 days. 5 days. Ah. I have a theory. Not a theory. I have a guess, an educated guess as to who the stalker is. I could be very wrong, but I have a good idea. Well, I shouldn't say good idea, because it could be a bad idea. Bad guess. But I have a guess. Oh, look at that. I'm in first place. Yeah. Do any of you have guesses? Just out of curiosity. The reason I looked at my watch earlier was because I had tried out a game, Taxi Simulator, I think it was called. I know Purple's played it, and I thought it would be pretty cool because, you know, driving simulator. But they didn't do a very good job kind of putting that game together, especially with some of the control options and trying to set up a wheel with it. So I played like 40 minutes of it, and I was just like, no. So I asked for a refund, and I got it because 2 hours is the limit. So Yeah, it's just not for me. I wish it were better because it could be a really cool game, but it needs more work, unfortunately. Stepmom's mama says nope. All right. I think it's a family member of the guy who just died. The guy that was in the tractor, I've forgotten his name already, that accidentally killed her family. He gave her everything in his will. And I think that perhaps he had a son or something like that. And because she got the will and not him, it's always about money. He can't be pissed off about how he died. That's not on him. That's not on her at all. Carl, the toiled brush salesman. I thought he was the vacuum guy. The door-to-door vacuum salesman. I could be wrong, but that is my guess, though. And like I said, I could be out of left field. I don't know. That sucks. Yeah. Well, they always claim to have the best suction, so. Actually, I've had a vacuum salesman in my house before trying to sell me on a vacuum. We, when we lived in Wisconsin, we had other friends of ours that wanted that vacuum. And it was expensive. It was over $2,000. And I was like, holy crap. But, they referred us to be the next, house caller, victim, whatever you want to frame it as. And so they came to us next. And so I let them in. I was nice. I listened. But I was like, nope. I'm not spending that much money on a vacuum. However, I will give them credit. It sucked really well. 'Twas a good vacuum. And we had a dog at the time. I mean, we have a dog now, a different dog. And boy, did she shed. Holy crap. In fact, we had 2 dogs. It was bad. And I was like, well, this armchair right here is where they like to sleep a lot. And no one ever sits there because dog hair galore. It was like, show me. See what you can do. And sure enough, they weren't wrong. It was a good vacuum, but there was no way in hell I was paying like $2,000 to $2,500 for a vacuum. It's not happening. Nope. But anyway, I digress. So yes, unless anyone else has any other theories as to who this mystery stalker, assailant, future murderer might be, I'm curious. And if not, that's okay. Chapter 31 is just moments away. We have 48 minutes until the next ad, so we got plenty of time. It's a guy. Solid theory, Stepmom's mama. In fact, I think you're right. I think you've just nailed it. You know what I should do? I should set well, no, that's okay. 47 minutes from now is close to 8 o'clock, which is when we'd be ending anyway, so. Yeah. I was going to say I would set a timer on my phone, so that way I don't miss the ads. But, whatever. All right, chapter 31. I've rambled enough. Starting on page 251. Puzzle's looking good, by the way. Good job. You just got to deal with all the white and gray pieces. What the hey? Last again. Well, there was a 33% chance. It was just after midnight as they threaded their way through the quiet streets. The only sound was his motorcycle. Bree relaxed and laid her head on Riker's back, enjoying the ride. Loving the smell of his cologne and the feel of his warm body, she wrapped her arms around him. Bree smiled to herself as she remembered his lips on hers, and wondered if he would kiss her again at the front door. Oh, I'm sure he'd do more than that if you let him. They turned down her lane and bumped along the rutted driveway. He pulled up in front of the house and killed the engine. Quiet descended around them. Her body hummed as she climbed off the motorcycle. The house was dark. She hesitated, looking at it. Didn't she flip the lights on when they left? Yes, she did. She could swear she had. An eerie feeling crept up her spine. As if reading her mind, Riker said, I thought you left the outside lights on. I'm almost positive I did. She took a step toward the house. Riker grabbed her arm. Bree, don't. Let me call Savard first. She started to agree, but then the thought of Zyla. A sick feeling snaked through her. She wrenched loose and ran toward the house. Stop! Riker yelled, running after her. Bree, wait! He caught her at the bottom of the stairs. What the hell? I told you to wait. Zyla's in there, she hissed. Something's happened. I can feel it in my gut. I have to go in. Damn it, he swore. Okay, but I'm going first. He looked around for something, anything to use to protect them. But there was nothing. Get behind me. They could see the door was cracked before he even reached for the knob. Riker nudged the door with his foot. It swung silently open. He reached inside, feeling along the wall for the light switch. The minute the lights were on, Bree pushed past him, headed for the kitchen and Zyla. Riker! Bree screamed. That was a terrible scream. Oh, hey, I won. Doopy-doo. I think I might have made the laps a bit too long. We're only 4 races in out of 16. I'm gonna shorten them, otherwise we'll never finish. And nobody likes it if you don't finish. Wait a minute. This is supposed to be a lap, not a whatever. Corgi, hi. "90 seconds. Get in here." Right, anyway, onto the, let me see if I can do the Bree screamed thing again better. Riker! Was that better? Probably not. It sounded really bad, actually. He got to her in 3 long strides. She had dropped to her knees, kneeling and cradling the limp puppy to her chest. Traces of fresh meat lay in chunks on the floor. He punched in 911. Mel? Mel? Did you kill the dog? Bree, let's get in your car and take her to the vet. This is 911. What's your emergency? He heard in his ears as he followed Bree to the garage. There's been a break-in at 10 Cypress Lane. Please alert Detective Savard. Is anyone hurt? A small puppy? Looks like she's been poisoned. We're on our way to the vet now. Send someone over. Riker clicked off, not waiting for a response. He Googled emergency vets and dialed the first number. Get in, Bree. I'll drive. And then there was a break in the story. You killed the... Mel. I realize it's not a person. It won't even let me... Ugh. That was yes to your question, not to the puppy. Oh. Okay. So maybe you didn't kill the puppy. I guess we'll have to find out. After the break in the story, Savard squatted and scooped up all the little chunks of raw meat scattered on the inside of the puppy's crate. He placed them in a plastic container, marked them as evidence, and tucked them into his bag. He waited patiently while the photographer took photos, documenting the kitchen, and then dusted the front door and the crate for prints. He received a text from Riker saying they'd return from the vet shortly. Savard made himself as comfortable as possible, took off his jacket, slung it over the back of the bar stool, and unbuttoned his top button. It was 3 a.m. He didn't think Bree would have minded if he had shown up in his pajamas, let alone loosened his collar. Alone in the house, he took his time and walked through every inch, taking it all in with a detective's eye. Ooh, cat one. Look at that. Good job. Good job. Is this actually going to be a lap race this time? Nope. Did we run out of lap races? Is that why? 90 seconds. Good luck. Snader Jr., or Cage, whatever you wanted to call him, had to have a key. Snader Jr. What did I say? What did I say? Or he was damn good at picking locks. The question was, if he had a key, where did he get it? Bree had changed the locks at least a week ago. The only ones with keys now were Sam, Harris, Riker James, and Bree herself. They hadn't found any evidence of forced entry, so either he had walked right in the front door like he let them believe, or he had found another way in. He was bold and stupid if he waltzed in the front door. Being bold and stupid might help in catching him. When criminals get arrogant, they make mistakes. Savard heard the SUV pull in and walk to the front door. He saw Riker pull around to the garage and went through the house to meet them. Detective. Riker greeted him solemnly and stuck out his hand. Savard shook it, then turned to Bree. How's Zyla? He asked, reaching for Bree's arm and guiding her through the breezeway. They had to pump her stomach, Bree said with a hitch. She's pretty bad, but the vet said she was strong and healthy despite her size, and we got her there quickly. The vet hopes she will completely recover. They will keep her there for at least the next 48 hours. Let's sit down, and you can run through what happened tonight. Riker and Bree took turns filling in the details of the night's events while Savard took notes. Did they mention the steamy kissing? Why does it never... So silly. This is why I was trying not to do this type of race, because it doesn't let me just auto follow is dumb. Uh-oh, Cody and Kat have been ejected from the race. So sorry. Who knew you were going out tonight? No one. I didn't speak to anyone after Riker called me, Bree stated. And you, Riker? Who did you mention it to? He shrugged. Just Sam. I called him on my way home. We always touch base at the end of the day. You know, Sam is looking more and more suspicious. Every time we go over this, oh, Corgi, you have also been ejected. So sorry. Savard opened a manila folder and produced a photo. Take a look at this photo. He pushed it across the table. Recognize him? Bree picked up the 8x10 and studied it. Shaggy blonde hair, the color of sand, blue eyes, crooked nose, full face. He looks familiar, but I can't place him. Why? Who is it? She handed the photo to Riker. That's Garth Snader Jr., taken about a year ago, or most likely Cage, whatever you prefer to call him. You sure? You're sure? You're sure now Cage and Snader Jr. are the same? Ugh, he's doing it again. Savard nodded. Maybe that's why he looks familiar. Now that you say that, I can see the resemblance to his father. He has the same hair color and blue eyes, but I'd say that's where the resemblance ends. Bree looked at Riker. What is it? He looks familiar to me too, but obviously I've never met Snader Sr. What about him catches your eye? Savard asked. I'm not sure. Give yourself some time. It may come to you. In the meantime, I'll run this photo through our computer and have it change hairstyles, hair, and eye color. They can add a little weight to his face and even thin it out. See if we can develop a composite picture that one of you might recognize. It may take a little time, but I'll ensure we get it. Savard looked from one to the other. What else? Bree started. We had an idea about the warning. You mean the phrase, in the shadow of the black moon? Savard asked. Let's hear it. What if it's about an actual black moon? Nothing to do with the black shadow. I'm listening. When there are 2 new moons in 1 month, the second one is called a black moon. Bree paused. And there just happens to be 2 new moons this month. Thinking of the silver of the moon he had noticed on the drive over, he asked, This coming weekend? Saturday, to be exact. Interesting. Savard sat back and ran his hands over his bald head. Even in the dim light of the dining room, it shone like a polished bowling ball. He watched Bree for a hot minute. What are you thinking, Bree? It's been bothering me ever since you mentioned that Mr. Snader took his own life. Maybe if I had been kinder, more understanding, more forgiving, maybe he would still be here, and none of this would be happening. You can't blame yourself for him taking his own life. He had a brain tumor that caused him to black out right before the accident. It was inoperable. He knew that. He knew he was going to die anyway. He chose to die sooner than later. The kind of tumor he had would have inevitably caused seizures, more blackouts, memory loss, and ultimately loss of control of his own body. Savard sighed. I guess Mr. Snader felt this was a much better way for him to go. Personally, I would have to agree with him. No one wants to live like that. Don't blame yourself for what he did. You're right. You're right. She shouldn't blame herself. But someone sure does, Riker stated. I think you're right. And I believe it's Garth Jr. And that concludes Chapter 31. The plot is thickening. Where did Savard get this picture from? Or maybe he just started doing some digging after he knew about Senior's death. How did I win again? All right, I'm not joining the next race. Oof. Lapsland. Let me guess, it's a lap race. It better be. It is. Look at that. It's what it's supposed to be. I'm dropping the laps down to 5 instead of 20 because that was a lot. No, you better join. No, it's all right. I can sit this one out. I'm going to give you guys a fighting chance. Obviously, my balls are more significant. You know? Faster. Smoother. No quitting. All right, fine. I'll join. 90 seconds on the clock. Chapter 32. Yep. This is a decent length, so it's kind of the perfect time. In fact, just to be safe, I'm going to run 2 minutes of ads now, and then we'll keep reading. I don't want us to get, hit at the very end. That would not be good. It's been wonderful to read to you all this evening, by the way. I very much enjoy our time together. Like I said, Thursday, it's going to be a lot of fun. Going to be wearing the VR goggles, driving a truck. And if for some odd reason the VR thing craps out on me, still got the 3-monitor display that I can do instead. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. I'll be starting early on Thursday as well, probably at about, an hour earlier than usual, at least. If I can start sooner, I will. All right, racers, good luck. "43 seconds left on the ad, and then we'll get back to it. How many pages? I always forget. $386. I'll be missing Stunty's anniversary, but I'll be there for trucking. Wait, what? Oh, you mean like in the morning while Stunt's streaming, you'll be busy, but you'll be back for trucks? I think this Thursday, yeah, I'm working 9 to 5. Ooh, that's a bummer. Working. So overrated. Okay, ads are done. I'm thinking if Stunt's able to join us for trucking, we should all work really hard to make sure she doesn't even make it. Yeah. Give her a taste of her own medicine. I would never do that. Why is my ball not red? I don't know. It's supposed to be red. I couldn't tell you. I'm a noob when it comes to this marble stuff. All right, chapter 32. I'm not saying a word. Thank you, Stunt Mama's Mama. I appreciate it. Chapter 32 starts on page 256. There's actually 386 pages in this book, so only 130 left. That's not a lot. Let's keep going. I'm headed out to an appointment, Tina said, poking her head into Linda's office. Do you want to grab a late lunch when I return? The sun shone through her window, illuminating the tiny dust particles that stirred when the central air circulated. She momentarily looked away from her paperwork, made eye contact with her friend, and noticed she was a little piqued. She was happy to have Tina back, and glad she had fully recovered. They were in the middle of a very busy stint, but Linda couldn't help but worry. You're not doing too much, are you? Mad Locust. Hello, Mad. How are you? Wonderful to see you. For a moment there, I thought you'd already gone to bed. I imagine she's going to be pretty exhausted by trucking time. Yes, that's quite possibly true. It is quite possibly true. I'm fine, Linda. Stop worrying. If you have too much on your plate, give something to Greg. Tina made a face. No thanks. I think I'll keep it. I like my clients too much to hand them over to him. Wow. Linda lowered her reading glasses and cocked an eyebrow at Tina. You don't like him? Oh, Cat winning again. Oh boy. Could Cat be the new leader of the pack? I wonder. 90 seconds on the clock. Still won't let me do the 0. Awesome. Let's just say there's something about him that makes my skin crawl. I can't put my finger on it, but... Her voice trailed off. I need to go. Wait for me for lunch? Will do. Could Greg be the mystery assailant? I wonder. I would say I don't hate my clients, so why would I give them to Greg? I have a heart, you know? Linda slipped her glasses back on and tried to focus on her paperwork. She jotted down notes and divided the duties she would cover tomorrow in the morning meeting following the photo shoot. She looked through the list of clients versus agents and noticed everyone was out either showing a house or meeting with potential clients to list their homes. Everyone except Greg. He didn't have anything until 2. And now that Tina had brought Greg to her attention, she couldn't let it go. Linda stretched, stood, and smoothed down her light gray linen skirt. Tucking in the tail of her pink blouse that had worked its way free. She glanced at her watch. She walked down the hall, her heels clicking on the tile floor, towards the reception area. She walked past Greg's closed door, hesitated when she saw it was dark, and realized she hadn't seen him yet this morning. "Sherry?" she called. Sherry looked up from her computer as Linda entered the room. "Have you seen or heard from Greg this morning?" No, I haven't." "Is he out in an appointment?" Linda asked. Sherry checked the schedule. No, I don't believe so." Linda tapped her pink nails on the top of the receptionist desk. "He came in late yesterday, too," she said, thinking out loud. She turned to the younger woman and knew behind that pretty face was a sharp mind. Sherry paid attention. Linda knew there wasn't anything that went on in this office that Sherry wasn't aware of. "How many times was he late this week?" Sherry looked directly at Linda. "Every day but Wednesday." "He's only been here 6 or 7 weeks, and he's already slacking off. I don't like that. Not one bit." Linda started to pace back and forth in front of the desk, then turned to look out at the parking lot. "Do you want me to try his cell phone?" Don't bother. Here he comes now." Linda stepped back and anchored herself at the front desk. She gave him the once-over when he came through the door. "Good morning, Greg. Nice of you to finally join us this morning," Linda said with a briskness to her words. Noticing his dirty hands and rumpled clothes, she asked, "Car trouble?" He grinned a lopsided, toothy smile. "You could say that. Flat tire. Took me a while to get it off and the spare on. A mechanic? I'm not." Linda eyed him. "After you get cleaned up, come into my office." "You bet." Linda watched him disappear into the bathroom. She walked down the hall to her office, leaned over, and plucked a sheet of paper off the desk. When he came in, she handed it to him. "I have several listings that I need you to stop by. For these top 5, I need lock boxes and signs. These 7 need the signs removed. You can use the signs from those houses to put them on. This one, it's way out." She pointed to the last listing. "They decided to take it off the market for now. Just pull the sign from the road. There's no lockbox or anything. It's just a little outbuilding back in the woods, off the beaten path." Yeah, I can do that. Do you have extra lockboxes?" "Yes, here." She reached for an ocean blue tote with Coastal Realty stamped on it in white and handed it to him. "They're all in there with the appropriate key inside. Sherry has them all labeled." "Got it." "What you don't get done before your appointment, you can do after. You'd better get going." "Right." Ooh, cat one again. Ooh, I didn't finish. God, that's awkward. So awkward. Womp womp. Let's see, do we have a lap race or a regular race? It's a regular race. 90 seconds on the clock, good luck. This one won't let me do the 0 either. Sweet. Not. She watched him walk away. He had an excuse for today, but what about yesterday? Or last week? She'd need to keep better tabs on him, she decided. And then there was a break in the story. Nobody has said, "You know, that kind of reminds me of Greg." But Riker might, because he was like, it reminds me of somebody, but I can't remember who. Considering Greg showed Bree the house, you would think that Bree would have been like, oh my God, that looks like Greg. And I went on a date with him. So maybe Greg's the accomplice? I don't know. My brain keeps going in like 20 different directions, and I can't contain it. I'll give you one thing, Mel. You've done a good job keeping me guessing on as to who it is. I mean, the story had said that it's, Junior, but no one knows exactly what Junior looks like specifically. And maybe it isn't Junior. I don't know. Anyway, carrying on. The radio pumped out hard rock and sweat dripped down Riker's back despite the cool breeze blowing in from the open windows. Hearing Mel over and over is, well, that's who wrote the book. I was just thinking the same thing. Well done on the mystery of who done it, right? All the appliances had been taken out except the refrigerator. It still ran, so Bree decided to keep it and put it out in the garage. We have a fridge out in the garage, too. They would move that as soon as Bree came down for lunch and emptied it. All the base cabinets and most of the walls were out. The island had been removed and the counters were gone. The room was almost bare. Riker, followed by Sam, hefted another cabinet into the dumpster. That's the last one, Sam said, lifting it over his side of the metal container. I'm surprised we get all that done before lunch, as large as that kitchen is. I'm a Mel in real life. Yeah, I got that, Corky. So do I, says Stepmama's mama. 'Tis a tricky one. Me too. That early start helped. Riker ran his dusty hands through his hair. Looks like we can patch the walls and start painting this afternoon. They walked in through the slider as Bree came in carrying lunch. Perfect timing, Sam said. We just finished ripping out the cabinets. Why don't you come into the dining room and eat? She offered. You'd probably rather have us sit outside. We're covered in dust, Riker said, indicating their clothes. He noticed the dark smudges under her eyes, but didn't say anything. It gave him a small fist to the gut to think of little Zyla and what might have happened to Bree if she had been home when it happened. She nodded and followed them out. They sat, and she doled out food. I can't believe how much you've accomplished. We will patch and paint this afternoon. Cabinets arrive bright and early tomorrow morning, Sam said, taking a bite of his sub. Have you gotten any news on Zyla? I spoke to the vet a little while ago. She made it through the night without any further complications. The vet said she would make a full recovery. They're keeping her at least through tomorrow, just to be safe. Bree said with relief evident in her voice. They ate silently for a few minutes, enjoying the sunshine and the breeze. Boats dotted the bay, anchored or slowly trolling by fishing. Did you two ever decide if you would have Colette update your website? Riker nodded, taking a swig of his soda. We are. We need to get some photos together. Bree beamed. I'm one step ahead of you. I already have several before and after photos from my house that you could use. If you let me know of other sites, I'd be happy to stop by and take photos. Also, we should take professional shots of the two of you. I like that idea. Sam wadded up his trash. I can give you a list of some of our projects. Then maybe you could meet one of us at a site. Just let me know when and where. I guess I should have said I also have a refrigerator in the garage. Oh. Yeah, I guess I never actually... Did I see your garage? I don't think I did. Cody coming in with the win. Good job. Puzzle's only half done, guys. Get a move on. Super. Do you need me to go get Stunt Mama to help you? That was really mean. Shots fired. Now, where was I? Bree folded her unused napkin and crumpled up her wrappers. Did you guys get enough to eat? Yeah, I'm good, Sam said. Thanks for getting that for us. He looked at Riker. I'm gonna go wash up and grab the cans and paintbrushes out of my truck. Having finished two, Riker stood and walked over to Bree. How you holding up, champ? You look tired. She smiled at him, but it didn't quite reach her eyes. I am, but you must be too. Thanks for everything last night. I never got to tell you how much I enjoyed the evening. Thank you for that. And thanks for being there with Zyla and for staying after Savard left. I know you have to be as exhausted as I am. I had a thought. Only one? More than one, especially when it comes to you. But for the moment, I want to concentrate on just this one thought. Let's have it. Riker rubbed at his neck. I'm not sure how you're gonna take this idea, but please believe me when I say I have your best interest at heart, and there are no ulterior motives. That sounds like a setup for something you know I'm going to hate. I'm listening, but tread carefully. She put her hands on her hips and waited. He grinned sheepishly. With you? Always. He cleared his throat and prepared to tell her his idea. On your cell phone, there are these apps. He swiped through his and held it up for her to see. Yes, she said hesitantly. Well, I was thinking we could link our phones. There's this one app in particular. He touched his phone screen and pulled it up to show her. You can turn it on and share your location with certain people. I thought it might be wise if we linked ours so I could find you if... He hesitated, unsure how to say it. Bree finished for him. In case something happens to me. Riker nodded. That's a good idea. Without a second thought, she handed him her phone. He made the appropriate adjustments and gave it back. That makes me feel better. Me too. She moved to go, but he reached out and turned her toward him. Looking down at her, he grinned, causing the deep-set dimples to appear. Now, about those other thoughts. Maybe we should sneak off and take a nap. We both could use it. Why do I get the impression there wouldn't be much sleeping in your version of a nap? He tugged her in fast, so her hips were instantly pressed to his. His smile grew wider, the creases in his cheeks deeper. Why, Bree, if I didn't know better, I'd think you were after my body. I had every intention of sleeping. Eventually. He dropped his mouth and hovered just a whisper above hers. He could feel the warmth of her breath on his lips. She tried to step back, but he held her firmly. Riker, don't. Sam's right inside. What? You don't think Sam has ever seen me kiss someone before? She half laughed. No, I'm sure he has. It's just you're working. We shouldn't. So, I like to mix business and pleasure whenever I can. Don't you? He didn't wait for a response. He dropped his mouth to hers and seized it. He went down fast, like a man drowning in a sea of pleasure. Riker lost all sense of time and feeling. The outside world slipped away, and all that was left was Bree. The feeling of her lips on his, the warmth, the tenderness. The taste of soda lingered on her tongue, and the hint of fresh flowers whispered over her skin. His hands were on her face, caressing it and tilting her back gently, his mouth eager for more. Sam cleared his throat. Are we going to do any more work today, or should I pack up and call it quits? Blee? Nope. Bree flushed red and pushed back. No, we're done. You can get started. I have work to do also. She took another step back, and then another, until she was out of arm's reach, turned and bolted inside. So funny. Riker stood grinning after her. It was all he could do not to follow and sweep her up. Damn it, Sam. You scared her off. Okay, I am not getting in the next race. It's just not fair. I keep winning. 90 seconds. Race 12 of 16. My apologies. I was under the impression we were here to work. How is it you always get the girl? Sam asked in disbelief, going back inside. Huh. Don't you know by now? Why don't you enlighten me? It's my rugged good looks and my undeniable charm. Sam snorted and choked back a laugh. Undeniable charm, my ass. Would you rather I said sex appeal? Riker asked, popping the top on a tub of spackle and grabbing a putty knife. He stirred the thick material, scooped a small amount, and went to the first divot in the wall. And I wouldn't say I've gotten this one. You could have fooled me. She looked pretty comfortable in your arms. Sam took a screwdriver, removed the outlet and light switch covers, and prepared to paint. You need to be careful. I get the impression Bree isn't a one-night stand. I know that. She's different. Give me a little credit, won't you? I haven't been playing around lately. Not since he had seen Bree. The day she had punched him in the jaw on the lifeguard stand, something had shifted in him. And not just his jaw. There had been something about her voice, her attitude, which had him cutting his run short. When he returned and saw her taking pictures on the beach, a longing ripped open in him as wide as the ocean. Everyone and everything paled compared to the desire he experienced when he looked at her. He'd been trying desperately to shake the feeling ever since. If I didn't know any better, I'd say you might have feelings for Bree. He didn't want to. Up to this point, he'd been happy and content with his life. Since she'd come along, things had been turned upside down for him. He didn't like it. Not one bit. And what makes you think that? Riker asked, methodically spreading spackle, trying to sound non-committal. She's different. For starters, she doesn't drool all over you or chase after you like the other women. That was for damn sure. She played hard to get. I'm just guessing here, so feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but you haven't successfully talked her into bed yet either. Disgusted that Sam could read the situation so well, Riker scraped off a chunk of spackle and flung it back into the bucket with his knife. Think you've got it all figured out? He defiantly turned to Sam. Spent the night here, didn't I? Sam smirked. Yes, but if you'd gotten lucky, you wouldn't be so pissy now. Fuck off, Harris. I'm going out to the truck to make some phone calls. Sam laughed as Riker strode off, pissed. Man, it's good to be right, he called out as Riker slammed the front door. And that, perfectly timed, concludes Chapter 32. So, Sam, who is his best friend, accurately nails the situation between Riker and Bree. But yet somehow Riker is astonished and shocked that he did, and then gets an attitude about it, like a pubescent teenage boy. That's basically what I heard. Which author Mel is very accurate. I can turn that off now. That is exactly what I would expect Riker to do. He's not been in a serious relationship before, and he's never wanted to. He doesn't have the first clue of how to control his temper or his racing mind when it comes to the discussion of him and a woman. He is clueless. Oh, look at that. Super winning again. We may be finished with our book reading, but we are not finished with marbles, so we will do that. We will finish that. And then we'll find someone to raid. Because we can't just leave a Grand Prix 90% completed. It's just not fair. I will tell you, though, that Chapter 33, when we get to it next time, which will be Sunday, starts on page 265. I gotta remember how many... Hold on. Please hold. 49 chapters, and we're starting chapter 33, so we're getting pretty darn close. Hold on to what? Whatever's close by. Whatever's close by, Corgi. Grab one of your turtles. Oh, that reminds me, did you figure out a dolphin? I haven't looked at Discord. Perhaps you've already sent me a message. I'm not sure. No, you haven't. Thank you for reading. Of course, Mel. I'm really enjoying the story, and I can say confidently on behalf of everyone else in here that they are too. 66.6% through the book. Dun dun dun. I found one, lol. You're making it now? Oh boy. I'll probably not be here Sunday. The Grands will be staying here. Wow. That's okay. That's okay. This is why we record, so you can, keep up with the reading on YouTube if you want. You're testing out the pattern. Okay. Well, like I said, send me a DM. Let me know how much. I will give you my address. I will send you money in PayPal. And I'll have my own little corgi dolphin. I do like dolphins. I am a fan. Oh. A corfin, if you will. A doll corg. What about, what if we threw tacky in there? Like a tack fin? Ooh, tack fin sounds good. Or maybe, Daleki? No, that sounds dumb. Have a great night. You too, Mel. Enjoy your evening. Thank you for being here, as always. Mad Locust is a panda guy. You know, I have always been curious about pandas. Like, I've seen all the videos of them, like, clasping on to the caretaker and rolling down like they're drunk and all that kind of stuff. I think it would be so fun to spend some time with a panda. Like, talk about stress relief and a good time. That'd be amazing. Oh. So for reading tonight, I had this bright-ass light on above me. I've purchased some more Govee lights that I'm gonna put right here on the door trim. And my hope is that having them on will not only look good, but also give me enough light to read as well. Tacky coming in with your first win. Woo! Good job. Magical, dangerous jump. Eat, play, and sleep all day. Good times. Wow. I hate that you can't auto cam these types of races. Drives me nuts. Drives me nuts, I tell ya. Oh well. It is what it is. Have I mentioned how excited I am to play VR Truck Sim on Thursday? I'm literally going to start stream as soon as I possibly can. Because then afterwards we're going to read Onyx Storm in Discord. But I want to get as much outlining done on my face with the headset as possible before I take it off and look weird. It's going to be so cool. I figured out how to stream it. I figured out how to get chat to show up on stream. So yeah. So you'll see what I see, and I'll still be able to see you chatting while driving. And I think that should be pretty much it as far as, you know, what might needed to be have done. What might needed to be have done? That doesn't make any sense. As far as what I might need to do. And like I said, if that doesn't work, we have a backup plan where I can make the game show up on the 3 monitors. I've done that already. Looks great. It's a much better feeling than having it split down the center, that's for sure. So, Corgi's excited. I am too. I would have done a bonus pop-up stream tomorrow to do the VR as like a test stream almost. But with the live recording session, even though that may only last an hour, maybe an hour and a half, I know it's going to take a lot of energy out of me to do that. Which is weird, right? Because I'm just sitting here talking. But there's a lot of kind of behind the scenes mental processing that goes into those live recording sessions. Or even just a regular recording session where it's just me by myself. But it's fun though. I have a great time, and the director, I got her to laugh a few times to kind of, you know, break the ice and get us all comfortable. Because the interesting thing for me is that it's my first time doing a live recording session, but for this project, this audio drama as a whole, I am the first person that they are recording. Which came as kind of a surprise to me because there are other characters that are just as heavily involved, if not more so. Like Nybecca, the main female role. There's another guy who plays her boyfriend. So, for me to be the first, kind of a surprise. I'm not sad about it. I'm quite happy. Oh no. Super, Tacky, and myself have been ejected from the race. Cat, you are the only one remaining. Can you make it? Will you finish? Will you get to the end? When only one can survive, it's all down to Catbox 86. Oh my God, she did it. Ladies and gentlemen, Catbox beat the odds. Came out to the other side. Good job, Cat. You nailed it. Ooh, it's another race. Or it's another lap race, I should say. Second to last race of the night, guys. 15 out of 16. Oh my God, and there's a red thorn. I don't think you're going to win the Grand Prix, but I salute you for trying, okay? Welcome in, Red. Good to see you. Let me get some shout-outs, actually, while we're here. Whoop. The last one should have been a participation award, just for not falling off. I get that. Yeah. But that's not real. There are no participation trophies, okay? Let's see if this clip actually shows up.
Yeah, I bet I did.
It happened when I hit the fucking map. Rhino almost sounded like the jump scare itself, which that by itself is gold. Oh God, that was funny. Oh, hilarious. Cat, I'm trying to remember. You used to stream, right? But now you're not? I don't remember. Because I wanted to shout you out, but... And of course we had Redthorn, who hasn't streamed in like 8 years. It's not his fault, though. That laugh. Ooh, Redthorn wins. Who else do we have in here? Cody, forgive me. Do you stream? Because I've just realized I'm not following you. But if you do stream, I will fix that. Why am I in first place again? I was talking to Jake and heard Rhino swearing. Yes, it was a good clip. Not yet. Planning to, getting stuff set up to stream, but it'd be a couple of months probably. Okay, well, good to know. You will alert us when that time comes, right? Like you'll tell the world so we can acknowledge. Rexter. Because you are hot, mister. I mean, it's quite possible. Rexter, how are you, sir? You're not good at all? That's not good. Why are you not good at all? What's going on? God, that scared me. Super is not making my life easy. Well, I mean, are we surprised? Is this new news? This tea is delicious. That is why a super spirit animal is an anchor. This bit we've started is actually my favorite thing. Love it. It's an anchor. It's pretty much my favorite animal. Ooh, that puzzle is almost done. Corgi's bringing up the rear. Oh, Corgi, did you see that? You almost fell off. You're chasing me. Corgi's chasing me. I'm playing hard to get, though. Uh-oh, you're coming on that too straight. You're going to lose momentum doing that. Need to turn into the corner. Man, you are catching up, Corgi. Last lap. Or is it? Did we actually do the 5th lap? It will unfortunately never get funnier than that day with Stunty. Stunty does bring out the child in all of us. Ooh, I've gained some ground. You are slacking. And then Cat, trying desperately to catch up to second place, only to be passed quickly by Cody. Oh boy. Cody is coming in with a vengeance. Oh! From underneath the jump, Cody takes the lead. Corgi is not letting up, though. Trying a new tactic. Breaking away. Seeing if we can take the corner. It's all here. What? No. Oh, Cody blocked the path. Man. Oh. Corgi took the lead again. How is this? Oh, Cody's trying to take it from the inside. Last lap. How's the VR test going? Great, actually. It works. I can play the game. I've made it so you guys can see the game in, normal view. And I can also have chat up as well. I've got to run like 3 different programs for all this to work, but as long as I do it in the right order, we should be okay. It's okay. I'm beating Red. That's what's important. I mean, as long as you have your priorities. Red's in last place, though, at the moment, so that's not, you know. Red's back here. Followed by Super. No, wait. Tacky, what happened?
Honk, noise, 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 honk.
Thank you. Do you have scary redeems? I think there's some in Tangia. Pretty sure Tangia's running. But, yeah. Something like that. Cody has taken 2nd place. Me, Evil Smile. Cool. Oh, but there's the finish line. Cody, you did so well to come in 2nd there. You just swooped right in. All right, ladies and gentlemen. This is your
I like the
final
ooh, it
race.
makes you smile. Can you ooh for me, Rek?
We'll shout you out as much as we want, sir. I am not going to join this race because it just wouldn't be fair. Okay? But what I am going to do is pull up my other screen and see who we can go say hello to. Let's find someone cool to raid, shall we? Surely someone out there is cool enough, yes? Quite right. Win or lose, I have the prettiest balls. Well. Okay then. It's quite a statement. Man, there's so many people live right now. Oh boy. Let's see. Raji is playing Panic Delivery. Super's taking the lead. Oh, wait, no. Gosh, there's a whole pack of you right at the front. It's so hard to decipher who's in first.
Then I'm like, oh,
Yeah, I think we'll go raid Raji. Quite a statement coming from the ones stating their balls were the smoothest and fastest. Okay, you caught me. But they are. Who's on first? What's on second? Who is? What? No. What's on second? Who? They're on first. Who is? Yes! Such a great back and forth. Wow, Corgi, just scaling those walls. I don't know. Third base. Who? Who's Who's on first? That's what I'm asking you. Oh, gets me every time. Please copy this raid message. I would love it if you could join us for the raid, show some support. It has been an absolute pleasure hanging out with you guys tonight. You wouldn't think Corgi would be good at climbing with those short legs? Wow. Wow. Oh, wait. Hold on.
Nirvana, that's not the rules, one by one.
Hold up. A bro just went live. Playing Song of Horror, Rhino. Oh, you definitely know we're raiding that. Sorry, Raji. No offense. You were an excellent second choice. Oh, yeah. So, yes, copy the raid message. Please. Please and thank you. Please copy that. We're on the last lap. And then we're going to raid out. I can't wait to see where the story takes us when we get back to it on Sunday. Like I said, Thursday will be trucking, and I will be starting early.
What do you think?
Super wins the race at least, but who won overall? First, second, and third, I don't know. But yes, Thursday will be live at least by 5 p.m. Central, possibly sooner if I can handle the timing. So we'll see. Either way, you'll see me go live and then you'll know. All right. This is it. The moment you've been waiting for. In third place, Kat. Congratulations, Kat. Coming in third place. That is amazing. Good job. In second place, Super. Shocking. I thought maybe you would have taken first. Who's in first? Well, that's all we have time for tonight. Thank you. It's been great. We're going to go. You only did like the middle races? I know. It doesn't make any sense. There's no way I should have won at all. Weird. I thought for sure you would have taken the lead on that one, Super. Oh, you technically did. We're tied. We both have the same amount of points. We both have 197. You know what? We'll say you won. Good job, Super. All right. We'll be back not tomorrow. We'll be back on Thursday, American Truck Sim, VR style, or at least multi-screened, one of the two, but hopefully VR. Until then, as I always like to say, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and have an amazing night. Is it book time? Chew, book time just finished. Yeah. That's all right, man. I'll post it on YouTube just like I do with all the other videos. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you for being here. Much love. We'll see you in a couple days. Be safe. Take care. And have a great night.